Welcome to my notifications if y'all did hear that. Welcome to the first episode of the Prime Feeling podcast, first of its name. And on this first episode of the Prime Feeling podcast, we are going to just talk about how I started YouTube. We're not going to talk about how I started it back in 2005 and I was putting up all the Dragon Ball Z movies with freaking Fusion Reborn and whatnot, and like watching it on YouTube. Like, I'm kidding. I'm messing with y'all. But yeah, we're going to just talk about how I started YouTube and what I'm doing now to feed that passion, honestly. I remember when I was in middle school, and I was on YouTube a lot. I was on YouTube, like watching YouTube a lot, probably since 2005. I remember I used to go to my dad's place because my parents are divorced. So I used to go to my dad's place and I would go on his laptop. And I think I had just found out about like the Evanescence Bring Me to Life song. Or actually, no, I didn't find out about that. I think I was looking for like Naruto vs. Sasuke stuff, actually. And then that's how I found out about that song. And so I always used to watch all these anime fights. Like, I'd watch like Naruto vs. Sasuke. Now, granted, this is Naruto Sasuke Part 1. Funny enough, in watching that, because I was watching Naruto dubbed on Cartoon Network / Toonami at the time. And I think they were going through their tuning exams, something like that. And I remember just getting spoiled by this. I was like, whoa, like Naruto's a Nine-Tails Fox. He has a Nine-Tails Fox, but he has like this. I didn't know it was like the QB cloak around him. And then Sasuke had the curse mark, and I didn't know that's what his curse mark fully became. Like, low-key from that fight, I kind of started forming a bias towards Sasuke for a bit because I thought his curse mark form was better than Naruto's Nine-Tails at the time. I hadn't watched Shippuden yet. Shippuden hadn't come out yet. But yeah, I definitely got spoiled by that. I actually also had one of my childhood best friends. Him and his brother had the Naruto Class of the Ninja 4, which I don't know how to say it in Japanese, but it was the Japanese version. We never got that here in America. And yeah, so jumping from that time in 2005 all the way to like middle school, I was always watching YouTube. Always. I used to use YouTube to like watch the anime fights, like the AMVs. And I always was watching YouTube to find like different like old shows. Like I remember I used to find some of the Dragon Ball Z movies on there. And they used to have some episodes of Power Rangers here and there, but the way they used to do it is it would be, what was the episode Green with Evil in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they introduced Tommy? They do like Green with Evil Part 1, but it's not Green with Evil Part 1. It would be like Green with Evil Part 1, but this is Part 1 of the video. So the video would be like 10 minutes, and then the other 10 minutes would be like Part 2 of Green with Evil Part 1. So I used to just watch a bunch of different stuff on there. And eventually I had such a appreciation for AMVs that I tried to start making my own. And if y'all ever find it, send it to me. If you can find it, I'm not going to give you no hints or anything like that. This could be something we could revisit. But when it came to YouTube, that's what it was. And so I was doing that, not heavily. I was just more so curious about it. But I was doing that probably 2010, 2011. And I was like 14, 15 around that time. And then I kind of just fell from it. I used to use Windows Movie Maker to make the YouTube videos back in the day. I used to I think I've always wanted to make a movie. One thing I'll say is, as a kid, I used to want to be an artist. And then I started to kind of want to make books like as we were approaching middle school. And then in middle school, I had like this moment where I wanted to create my own video game. I wanted to make like this Digimon Rumble Arena 3 video game. And I was low-key working on it with some friends at the time. But let's be for real, that wasn't going to come to fruition. Well, you never know. It could maybe in the future. But yeah, so I was really, really interested in Digimon. Shoot, when it comes to me, the things that I like, I think I already mentioned it. I love anime. I love anything superheroes. As long as I can connect with it, like I like it. I do like a little bit of drama, a little bit of romance, a little bit of horror, a little bit of this and that. Like, as long as you can capture my attention and keep me locked in, you know, I like it. And back to the YouTube, I guess my YouTube journey in a way. So after I took that break, I was still always watching YouTube. In high school, I would watch YouTube, but I transitioned away from watching AMVs as much and watching different TV shows. I would still find stuff. Like, YouTube was still this very much so random, just random like stuff that I wanted to watch. Like, let it be a music video, a new Drake music video, Kendrick music video, J. Cole, like whatever. And yeah, so for a good amount of time, I say up until I became an adult, I was legit just watching random YouTube stuff. And one of the first YouTube channels that I watched that kind of just spoke to like my passion, like, and when I say my passion, I mean my passion for anime. Right now, I'm currently watching One Piece Egghead. Oh my goodness. I've been hearing about this as far as like when it was going on in the manga, and to be honest, to see it play out it's chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. One Piece is an anime I never thought I would get into, but I did, and I've been enjoying it. I've been watching that. Just finished up Demon Slayer. What was the name of that arc? The Hashira training arc, I think is what it was called. The next one is going to be the Infinity Castle, the Mugen Castle, if that's how you actually say it. I just found out Mugen means infinity. So now I'm like, dang, so Mugen Train is just Infinity Train. So I wonder if like the castle is just called Mugen Castle. But regardless, off of that. So yeah, like I was watching RDC World for the first time, I want to say when I was 18. And they had the video of when you take anime too far. And I connected with that video so much, honestly, just because I remember being a kid and playing like Power Rangers with your friends, playing Dragon Ball Z, like wrestling, like just taking, like playing Star Wars and play fighting to the point where it's like, all right, I really thought I was Sasuke. I thought I was about to hit my friend with the Chidori. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was the Green Ranger from Lost Galaxy, and I was about to call him the Lights of Orion. Like, I had that type of imagination as a kid. So I really connected with that. And as time progressed, and I was continue watching RDC World, started watching other people, Berleezy, started watching Tyrone Magnus, started watching Emergency Awesome, Geekdom, just to name a few, and then later Anime Balls Deep. A lot of what I liked to watch was different things, but there was some connectivity. Like when it came to RDC World, what got me into them was like the anime and how they kind of align the comedy with that. Like, they're really funny guys. I'm so proud to see like where they're at like 10 years later. It's actually crazy saying that because I just turned 28. But that's crazy. 10 years ago. Wow. And when it comes to like watching like Berleezy, I was watching his gaming vids. I did watch some of his exposed stuff, but I really kind of leaned more so into the gaming with that. And when it comes to Tyrone, similar thing. I watched Tyrone for gaming, the reactions, his reviews. Like at that time, Star Wars The Force Awakens was going to come out a year later. So when that came out, he was one of the people I was watching. I think that's actually exactly when I kind of started following him. And yeah, I would say when it comes to some of these people that I named, you can kind of see some translation into some of the videos you see today on my channel, right? And so during this time, I'd say probably from like 2014, well, not really 2014. Let's just say for as long as I've had an interest in YouTube when I was making my AMVs, all the way up until like 2020, I want to say. 2019 was really the year where I was really starting to feel like, okay, I didn't like how, oh, this person broke down the newest Star Wars movie, or I didn't like that they didn't talk about this in Avengers Endgame and stuff. And I kind of just started to feel like, okay, these people that I'm watching aren't necessarily covering the things the way I would have really, really genuinely have liked it to be covered. And so I started thinking about, okay, I have a different perspective. I always talk to all of my, like, my cousins. You're going to hear me talk about my cousins a lot, because while I am an only child of my mother, I do have siblings on my dad's side, as well as siblings from my stepfather. But I always kind of had this only child mentality. So you're going to hear me talk about my cousins a lot if I talk about family. Yeah, so we always talk about like Power Rangers, anime, like music, like Drake versus Kendrick. Like we talked about all that stuff all the time. Like we talk about everything. Like I like to say we're very multifaceted. And so I would always find myself talking about like Avengers Endgame, or not just Avengers Endgame, but like Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Ooh. Eesh. No Way Home. Like all these different movies have always kind of caught my interest, to the point where I kind of found myself going down this rabbit hole of, what did this person think of this movie? What did that person think of this movie? To then it evolved into like, I'm interested in what these people I watched were thinking of these movies, to, okay, I've watched enough. I like, why didn't they talk about this specific thing? Like, I almost kind of felt like there was a transition from me being the fan, the consumer, to now kind of forming like a critical standpoint. I'm starting to have this critique of what I'm watching from YouTubers to what I'm watching. Like, to this day now, like, no disrespect to Emergency Awesome. He's the one who really got me into comics for real. Him and Comic Storian, RIP Comic Storian. And when I was watching their stuff, it kind of just opened my mind more to comics. I didn't realize there's all these different things, right? And so I took all that, and then you fast forward to 2020, where I thought I was going to do my very first YouTube like video for my channel. To be honest, in 2020, I was doing a lot of streaming, but I did the no mic, no cam streaming. Sometimes I would put my mic on, but I was doing a lot of that because I wanted to get myself into the mindset of like just doing, like just playing, you know? And there's times that I started to play more that year without a mic. I mean, with a mic, my bad. With a mic, right? And then it evolved to me essentially like adding a camera. I really wanted to be at first when I started my YouTube journey, I really wanted to be the DJ academics in a way, or the geekdom, like those sort of channels where at first you never really saw their face. They would just talk. And I thought that was going to be my approach. I thought I was going to be the channel where I'm not going to use a camera. I don't want people to see who I am, maybe from embarrassment or just because now my face is online. No, I'm not the biggest person online at all. But regardless, like I'm exposing myself in that way to so much that I can't even comprehend. Like luckily during my journey, I haven't really gotten any hate or anything like that, but that's kind of been my perspective with it. And so, yeah, so we started off with Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. And honestly, during that whole gameplay, I was going through the same stuff. I think by the time I got to the end of that gameplay, I finally started showing my camera. I finally started showing my face, I mean. And I learned a lot from that. So comparing like the Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles gameplay to my most recent completed Spider-Man 1 gameplay playthrough, there's a lot that has changed. I can definitely say it. And I feel really, really good about it. I really do. I really do. I can see the growth, but I know I'm not where I need to be at. I don't know if I'm not where I need to be at or where I would like to be at, But I'm also like, it's okay to feel like you're not where you need to be at or not where you like to be at. As long as you still want to keep going on the journey, you know what I mean? As long as you want to keep feeding your passion. That is a saying that I've heard before. And I kind of want to not own that saying, but I really like that saying. So you're going to probably hear that a lot more on this podcast and probably maybe even on my channel. But feed your passion, honestly. Whether you're just feeding your passion for 30 minutes a day, or if you're feeding your passion for like 4 hours, I feel like as long as you have something to show for it, whether it is like, hey, I'm going to just go for a 30-minute walk, or hey, I'm going to record myself playing this game that I love for like 2 hours and put that out, or, you know, edit it down and make an hour video, 30-minute video, 20-minute video, or just cut that up to 20-minute videos each. Even you could even do that, honestly, right? And so what I'll say for myself is that the way I feed my passion, I like to record. I've been recording. I'm recording this right now, obviously. But I try to find the time that works best for me, because at the same time too, I have a life outside of YouTube. You know, I've had jobs while doing YouTube. I have a child and I have a partner. So I have my own family, you know, and I usually don't really think too much about it when I'm doing this, because this is my passion to feed. You know, maybe one day we'll speak into existence that KINGxKISHI will definitely be a bigger channel and get more attention and all that good stuff. But right now, I don't really care about all that. My main things right now are just feeding my passion. Let it be through doing this, communicating with you guys and telling you a bit more about my story through the Prime Feeling podcast. Communicating with you guys on my live streams when I'm streaming Spider-Man 2 right now. When I'm doing my reviews, and maybe one day when I get back to doing my reactions too. And to be honest, that's really more so my perspective right now. When it comes to YouTube and my current journey right now, what I'm trying to do, or at least the new jutsu I'm trying to master, is, you know, the communication jutsu. You know, I'm learning to really focus and hone in on my communication, because I do feel like, in my opinion, the quality of a video, if you're not just making some sort of memes or anything, it's really that. Communication is key. It really, really is. From not only how I sound, really it's more so how I sound and kind of how I carry myself on camera. But I at least say, when it comes to how I sound, how am I talking to you? How many filler words am I using? I'm not going to lie, I used a lot of filler words in this first episode. And in the past, I probably would have critiqued myself for it and would have just like paused, because I'm like, damn, I messed up. But it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, this is it. The first episode of the Prime Feeling podcast. I hope this gives you guys a better perspective on, you know, what I'm about. And you're going to learn more about me as we go through this. And yeah, that is the first episode of the Prime Feeling podcast. How did I get started on YouTube? And if you are listening to this on YouTube itself, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're hearing this on any other DSPs, I don't know how it is on the DSPs, but if you can follow me, and because you've enjoyed this first episode and continue to enjoy whatever else comes from this, feel free to, honestly.